body work is a delicate job, so, you know, you got to go at it very carefully. So much bundle, you can't cut through it. I think that's much crap on it. We're going to have to get a grinder up and make a line so I can get a good contact. That's how I take quarter panels off to start. Get rid of all the big shit, and then we'll start doing the spot welds and all that where we got little smaller pieces we can actually handle. Kind of break off and not bust everything off. You try and do it all in one piece, you're just going to tear up all the metal behind it so bad trying to get all them things broke out. Won't do any good. But this way, what I can do is I can cut little strips now, drill spot welds, kind of work stuff off. I just take the zip cut now and we'll start cleaning. But apparently, it's got a lot of fill in it, so before I can do all that, we're going to just take a grinder and make a line. I didn't think it was that bad up in here. I knew it was in here real bad, but this is just chock full in here. So, next step, all right, chop the part. So the initial cuts, you know, now we got to come clean all this kind of stuff and all this and down through here. You can see there we got new outer wheelhouse. We got new drop downs. These wheelhouses weren't as bad as most of them I see, although they're bad. So I like to have all that stuff new because it saves a lot of trouble. These drop downs, on the other hand, look very good. Amazingly, 90% of the time when I do this is because it's a rotten pile of crap. This case, I think somebody was doing their version of accident repair. Now the bottom, as you can see, is pretty crusty. So it needs quarters. But you take this to your panel, you are all at the original spots everywhere. I go ahead and I buy the little pinch weld piece that goes in here because that's a pain in the butt to try and drill those spot welds out to save that piece. So I've got that new too. And we're going to use it all. We don't DD Speed Shop hack these things, and I don't know. Well, I've seen a lot of guys do that. Big shops too. I mean, start making a weld all the way down through these things and everything else. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like to do body work I don't have to do. And even if the trunk gap isn't just right or something, I got to put a piece of wire on it or do something, I'm still working way less than trying to hack this and save everything. They don't fit that bad. They're pretty damn close. I mean, you'll see as we go. We'll make it. I mean, we may have to make some adjustments. I'm not saying we won't, but I am saying it's going to be a hell of a lot better to do it this way than chopping this thing to pieces and trying to use bits and parts. And besides which, when you start looking these things over, they're not worth a crap anywhere. I mean, you look at all this patchwork up in here. So if you're trying to save that, what are you trying to do that for? It was all full of fill in here and in here. It's been bronzed together here. What are you saving? I don't understand it. I'm not trying to save that garbage. I got a chance to put new sheet metal on, not have it full of fill. I'm putting new sheet metal on every time. All right, we're working on putting these inner wheelhouses in, or outer wheelhouses in, pardon me. And you can see we got everything kind of trimmed up. I will clean all this up and put weld through primer on it, but I'm gonna fit everything first. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working on this deal. And as you can see, if you look at these, the inner wheelhouse is pinched on from the back side of all this. The only way for me to do this correctly is to really change both. If I try and drill these spot welds and separate this, might get it done, might not get it done without buggering stuff up enough I'd want to change it. So what I do, I just put it on the outside. And I notch this to go around this. And I may trim this and butt weld this section. I've never had a problem. This is going to move you out, I don't know, less than 1/8 of an inch. That's not 16 gauge sheet metal, so, you know, it's not going to make a huge difference. I mean, this is 20, probably 20 gauge, I don't know. It ain't going to make, I've never had it make a real difference, so. I'm going to put this thing up here and see if I can get it fit and then decide if I'm trimming this around here or not. That's going to just depend how it fits. If it bulges it here, I'll trim it around. If it doesn't bulge it and it lays in there nice and round and I don't have a big drop here and here, I'll just leave it and I'll overlap it. But chances are I'm going to trim it back just this little section around here and butt weld it. We're going to find out here in just a minute. Anyway, you can clearly see by that little air gap right there, this is pushing it down. So we're going to have a bad fit in through here on the inside. You'll see it step. So I'm going to just go ahead and trim this here now. I'm going to mark it good. I'll trim that so it's a nice flush fit. So it'll come up and fit level with the other piece. Nice there. Then it'll fit just like a stock original piece. And get that in. We're going to fit the quarter panel on, kind of see where we are on that. And we'll go from there. Then after, I'm going to change this piece. But right now, I'm leaving the trunk lid on. I need to take the trunk lid off to do that. So I'm going to leave the trunk lid in place because I've got a nice gap, or had a nice gap when I started down through here. I'll make sure that's still good. I'll do both quarters. Obviously won't connect it here. And then I'll do the new piece after in here. This must have had a vinyl top. It's just patched and buggered up everywhere up here. So we'll... fortunately, all that crap will be gone. Yeah, that ain't a bad fit. You see, she's all nice and flush. Now it's up here where it belongs. Obviously here, I'll have to kind of push it down a bit to weld it, but it's, I just marked it. It's real tight. So now it's up here nice and flush where it belongs. Happy with that. So we're gonna fit the quarter on it now and see if that is, hopefully I'm still happy with it and I don't have to move this. It's lined up. There's a factory hole down in here that lines up, and then this goes down into the bottom of that rocker. It's pretty much, you don't have too many options where it goes, so I'm pretty confident it's good. But now I'm gonna put the quarter panel up there, kind of see what I need to do. And what I'll do, I'll tech screw everything exactly where it's gonna land. And I'll take it all off now and I'll clean things up here and paint. And then when it goes to go back together, I'll have those tech screws. I'll be able to put it right back where it belongs. And all I have to do is weld those holes up after. Easy peasy. And I won't end up with something back where I didn't want it. So that's the plan. We got this bad boy set on here. Couple little problems, so we're going to change up what we planned. Normally I would have just gone ahead and put this one on, did all my alignment and called it good, but right in here you see it's an issue. And this is overstepped, but it's also been monkeyed with. So before I try shucking that quarter ahead, we're going to go ahead and fit both quarters. We're going to change this piece out, and then we'll fit all the window moldings. Make sure all that fits before we weld anything down. You see here, get that ground clamp out there to help. The gap is even but wide. Now somebody has ground on this door. I don't really want to bring the door back anymore because it's already back to the glass pretty good. But this somebody has actually cut out. You can see there where it's ground. It's in two pieces. So we got to kind of fix that door regardless. So that'll fix that. This is a little wider than I'd like it. I can put some wire on the edge of the door if I need to. I'll see. And you see this gap is a bit wide all the way down through. Now we do need to squeeze it this way, but again, I'm not sure how much. So I'm just gonna wait. We'll do the other part. This side of the trunk lid though was pretty near touching the original quarter, so would tell me the whole trunk lid could go that way to get our gap too. But so we just won't worry about that right now. We're gonna go ahead and test fit this quarter, then we're gonna change this piece to get that up on top. Then we'll worry about the other stuff. I mean, I don't see, we can't do it all. I just have to change and go with the flow here. No big emergencies, but you know, little things you gotta kind of float with. So. The little trick here is this up behind this. It takes a little jigging. I really shouldn't have one of these. Worst part of this is we're probably going to do this 3 or 4 times before we're done. Like that, it kind of snaps into place. So, part of this too is to kind of, we may end up wanting to move that inner wheel well forward or something to make this work, which we can do. This one's hitting on. This here, so you're probably going to have to get thin just a little bit. Get that in there. The looks of it. That doesn't want to quite slide in. Oh, this is not helping. This little piece right here is my challenge with the other side, because this has to fit up in here behind this gutter. So if I want to move that other quarter ahead, I've got to modify this in here. Maybe we're going to end up doing it on this side too. We're going to kind of go here. But that quarter really needs to go ahead. Oh yeah. Not taking these windows out has been a bit of a pain in the butt. I have to slide that quarter in behind that glass where this deal is here first. I forgot about that. There. That goes a lot easier, doesn't it? this here, you're going to have to do a little cutting because we're not set up to go over. Right now I'm just going to make a little snip here. Because originally this stuff goes up under the roof skin. So obviously we don't have that option, so we've got to thin this down here. Right now I'm just going to do this back section. Myself a little bit slack here. You see this side's a bit the same way in that corner so far. Now the thing of it is, when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at this, where it meets the edge of the rocker panel. I also have that wide gap here though. It's kind of making me think everything's going to come ahead on both of them. So if I do that, it acts like that wheel well needs to go ahead just a bit. This, I have a little room. It's just a matter of messing with it until you get it. But you see the gap here, same thing. It's pretty wide. That door needs a whackload of adjustment too. But that needs some help yet. This is not in where it belongs, of course, here either. When I get it closer, I'll tech screw it. But until I get it close enough, I can't do that. Anyway, long story short, an hour now trying to work on this stuff, or even 5 hours now, whatever it takes, is way better than putting it on where it doesn't belong and then needing to try and body work around it. Just take the time it takes and that's it. Make it happen. I may end up sticking a tech screw in here just to keep track of where I'm at. I close the door and check door fit. One thing I do have going on with both quarters is I got this inner structure sticks up just a bit, but this hole for the door catcher is lined right up now. So that makes me think that's not bad. But again, it looks like everything needs to go forward. This post in here is pretty movable. So that's, if I go forward, everything will kind of pinch to it when I weld it. It's going to take thinking now. Now I gotta slow down. It's always right. So this side's a little better. Again, it's a little wider off of this piece. So we got options. When we do this, we can narrow it a little bit or whatever we want. That's the beauty of this kind of work, you know. Back here, I'll do the same thing I did on the other side. Where these taillight extensions go on, I'll bolt that together. So that'll give me the back end kind of where it would have landed from the factory. And then kind of see where we're going from there. And then decide if I'm trying to go forward with these things or what. Because if I go forward, I'm going to have to find a way to chuck that inner wheel well ahead. And not a lot. I need to go, because it is touching. I need to go, I got those vice grips in there now, you can't really tell, but you know, I mean, 3/16 of an inch would make a hell of a difference for everything on both sides. So to get, I think this side I have 3/16 here that I can get. The other side I don't. So the other side I'm gonna have to shave this here just a little bit to get it to go forward. This side I'm good. I've gotten that. 3/16 here would make quite a difference too. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to try to get them both ahead just a little. And then we'll do this. And then kind of see where we end up. But that, like I say, the wheel well now, I'm going to have to find a way to get the wheel well ahead or just work that lip in the front there. Just tap it a little bit so that can come. Let's see how it fits in there. Which is going to give me the less aftermath to work through. Because, you know, I'm going to end up with a step up inside, which I can seam seal and sort of fudge, but, yeah, you know, this is the fun of what we're doing. I think the next bit where we end up, next video will be fitting this and fitting rear window trim and doing the final fit on these things. I'll mess with them a little bit, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And once I've got a plan, and we'll go ahead and put that on a video. I'll make a video out of this one. Everybody can kind of follow on the project, mostly Donald. So, all right, so this didn't take very long. I'll add a piece to the end of the video. You see that gap there now? This chunk that's missing, this door's got the same problem. I don't know, like it's been ground on there. It's actually right through the skin. Somebody's got a little fill in this one, but so we'll have to put a little wire right there to make that nice. But I mean, the rest of it is pretty acceptable for not even being welded in place. This back here is kind of worked out. This is gonna work. The gap up here, I'm not gonna get excited about yet because obviously we gotta put this piece in and finish it, which is gonna draw this in. So that all worked out. What we ended up doing was chucking the wheel well ahead 3/16 of an inch, like I said. We'll do the same thing on the other side now. I just need to figure out on the other side what the hell I'm gonna do with that rain gutter. I'm gonna have to modify something there because there's no room over here. I'll chuck the wheel well ahead, same thing though. And we'll get this gap fixed. It'll get this corner working. And then, but like I say, she's tight in here, so. Or I believe it is anyway. I'll chuck the wheel well ahead. We'll just try it like it is before we get excited. Do the same exact thing. Maybe we'll get this side. If that works out, this will be pretty gold, you know. Because again, we're wide here, but our issue is a lot of it is this, which we're going to change. So if that's all it is, I'm not losing any sleep over it. I ain't losing any sleep over it anyway. We just work our way through it. It's metal. But I think overall, it's pretty good. These actually fit pretty nice panel overall. This ain't real hard to adjust if this is all we got to do. And I think we'll end up with pretty good gaps. This door, like I say, it's a little wonky up here, but it's been whacked with a grinder. And it was a little wonky on the original quarter. Down here, it's sticking out, but it's also hitting the fender when you open it. So the whole door needs to be just rocked a little bit. Not worried about that part. We'll adjust the door. We'll make it fit flush with the quarter. Easy. Thankfully, it's not like a new rig where it's just pins. You got actual bolts to adjust it, so that'll go good. So it shouldn't take too long now. We'll next video we'll kind of start. Well, we'll do final fitment on that piece, on that trunk filler piece, and then we'll do probably clean it up, put some paint on it, and start actually welding stuff in. But we'll have to clean all this backside and paint everything because it's pretty crusty right now. Wow. Actually, the old car, I can't say nothing too bad about it. That old body's pretty good. Look at the outer wheelhouse. Really, a feller could have saved it. I mean, the bottom's a little crusty, but usually these things are all gone. And the trunk drop downs were still decent. I mean, the old car weren't half bad. And a lot of years up here in the north, too. All right, next time.